Young Mei Mei rushed to the ER at midnight. Yulong breaks down after the doctor's shocking update. Opening. A night that changed everything. It was well past midnight when a single post ignited panic across fan communities. In the quiet hours when most of the city was asleep, emergency lights cut through the darkness outside a private hospital, and within minutes, a familiar name was trending at a speed rarely seen even in the hyperactive world of K-drama fandom. Young Mei Mei, beloved actress and rising icon, had reportedly been rushed to the emergency room. By the time confirmation trickled out, the story had already taken on a life of its own. Whispers of complications, speculation about hidden truths, and one haunting image that fans could not shake. Yulong, usually composed and unreadable, seemed visibly shaken as he waited for news. This was not just another rumor cycle. This was different. The timing, the secrecy, and the raw emotion on Yulong's face suggested something far more serious than a routine hospital visit. Within hours, hashtags multiplied. Live streams dissected every second, and international fans woke up to a headline that felt unreal. What really happened that night? What did the doctors discover? And why did Yulong, known for his iron discipline and calm demeanor, reportedly break down after receiving the update? Tonight, we take you inside the full timeline of events, separate fact from speculation, and explore the emotional aftermath that has left fans stunned and deeply concerned. Chapter 1. The Midnight Emergency. What we know so far. According to multiple eyewitness accounts later corroborated by hospital staff sources, young Mei Mei arrived at the emergency department shortly after midnight. She was accompanied by a small group, 2 staff members, a manager, and Yulong himself. Unlike scheduled medical visits, this arrival was urgent. Security was tightened immediately, and the ER wing was partially closed off to protect privacy. What alarmed fans was not only the urgency but the lack of prior warning. Earlier that evening, young Mei Mei had been active. She had reportedly completed a rehearsal session and even interacted briefly with staff in good spirits. No official schedules were cancelled in advance. No cryptic messages were posted. The emergency seemed sudden and unexpected. Insiders later suggested that she had complained of intense discomfort earlier in the night, symptoms that escalated rapidly. By the time medical professionals insisted on immediate hospital care, there was no room for delay. In K-drama culture, where public appearances are meticulously managed, such a spontaneous ER visit set off alarm bells. Chapter 2. Yulong's Arrival. A rare glimpse of vulnerability. When Yulong stepped out of the vehicle at the hospital entrance, those present sensed immediately that something was wrong. This was not the confident actor fans were used to seeing on red carpets or press events. His posture was tense, his movements hurried, his face drained of its usual color. Sources describe him pacing the waiting area, phone clenched tightly in his hand, repeatedly asking for updates. At one point, he reportedly leaned against the wall, eyes closed, as if trying to steady himself. For a man celebrated for emotional restraint, the scene was jarring. One nurse later described the moment as heavy with fear. Another staff member noted that Yulong refused to leave the hospital even when advised to rest. He said he would wait as long as it took, the source recalled. This alone fueled speculation. Why was Yulong so deeply involved? Why was he the one waiting, rather than managers or staff? For many fans, the answer seemed obvious, but confirmation remained elusive. Chapter 3. The doctor's shocking update. Several hours into the wait, a senior physician reportedly emerged to speak privately with Yulong and the management team. This conversation, brief but intense, became the turning point of the night. Witnesses say Yulong's reaction was immediate and emotional. His shoulders sagged. He sat down heavily, hands covering his face. Moments later, he stood abruptly and stepped into a quiet corridor, where he was seen wiping his eyes. What did the doctor say? Official statements have been carefully worded, citing acute medical concerns, and emphasizing that young Mei Mei was receiving the best possible care. However, sources close to the situation described the update as serious but manageable, provided strict medical instructions were followed. The shock, according to insiders, was not only the diagnosis but the implication. This was not a one-time incident. It suggested an underlying condition that had gone unnoticed, or deliberately kept private. Chapter 4. The silence that followed. By morning, fans were desperate for answers. Yet official channels remained silent for hours. No immediate press release. No reassuring social media post. In the absence of information, speculation exploded. Some feared the worst. Others urged calm. Fan translators worked around the clock to track even the smallest hint from industry insiders. Meanwhile, paparazzi gathered outside the hospital, cameras trained on every entrance. When a short statement was finally released, It confirmed that young Mei Mei had been treated overnight and was now stable. However, the statement avoided details, asking for privacy and understanding. For many fans, the lack of transparency was unsettling. Stability was reassuring, but stability after what? Chapter 5. The weight on Yulong's shoulders. As news spread, attention increasingly shifted to Yulong. Clips of him entering and leaving the hospital circulated widely. Fans analyzed his expressions frame by frame. The consensus was clear. He looked exhausted, shaken, and emotionally overwhelmed. Those familiar with his past interviews noted a stark contrast. Yulong has often spoken about emotional control, discipline, and professionalism. He once said that an actor's job was to carry emotion on screen, not in real life. Yet that night the barrier seemed to collapse. Close acquaintances suggest that Yulong had been carrying immense pressure even before the incident. Long filming hours, intense public scrutiny, and constant rumors had already taken a toll. The sudden medical emergency may have been the breaking point. Chapter 6. Fans react, from panic to solidarity. Cross-platforms, fans rallied. Support messages flooded timelines. Fan projects were temporarily paused as communities focused on sharing verified updates and discouraging harmful speculation. International fans organized virtual prayer circles and message boards dedicated to positive energy. Some changed their profile pictures to symbols of support. Others compiled clips of young Mei Mei's strongest performances, celebrating her resilience. Interestingly, many fans also expressed concern for Yulong's mental health. "He looks like he's carrying the world alone," one comment read. "We support both of them." Chapter 7. Industry response and quiet adjustments. Behind the scenes, schedules were adjusted. Filming commitments were reportedly reviewed, and upcoming appearances were labeled subject to change. Industry insiders suggest that production teams moved quickly to accommodate potential recovery needs. This quiet flexibility spoke volumes. In an industry notorious for pushing stars to their limits, the response hinted at the seriousness of the situation. Chapter 8. Theories, rumors, and the line between concern and invasion. As always, rumors followed. Some claimed insider knowledge. Others connected unrelated past interviews into elaborate narratives. While curiosity is natural, many voices urged restraint. Health matters are deeply personal. The frenzy raised important questions about boundaries in celebrity culture. At what point does concern become intrusion? And how much does the public really need to know? Chapter 9. A relationship under the spotlight. The incident inevitably reignited discussions about the bond between young Mei Mei and Yulong. Whether officially defined or not, their connection has long been a subject of fascination. That night in the hospital, however, shifted the narrative. This was not about rumors or shipping. It was about presence, loyalty, and fear. Yulong's decision to stay, to wait, to visibly crumble, told a story no press release could fully erase. Chapter 10. Moving forward, healing, privacy, and hope. In the days following the incident, updates have been cautious but positive. Young Mei Mei is reportedly resting, following medical advice, and surrounded by trusted people. Yulong has kept a low profile, declining non-essential engagements. Fans, too, have shifted tone, from panic to patience. There is a growing understanding that recovery is not a spectacle. Conclusion, more than a headline. Young Mei Mei rushed to the ER at midnight, may read like another dramatic headline, but the reality behind it is far more human. It is a reminder that behind the scripts, awards, and carefully curated images are people who feel fear, exhaustion, and love just as intensely as anyone else. Yulong's breakdown was not a weakness. It was proof of humanity. And young Mei Mei's ordeal, while frightening, has revealed a network of support that extends far beyond the screen. As fans, the most powerful role we can play now is simple. Respect, patience, and hope. Hope for healing. Hope for strength. And hope that when the lights come back on, both of them will return not just as stars, but as survivors of a night they will never forget. Stay tuned to our channel for verified updates, thoughtful analysis, and respectful coverage as this story continues to unfold.